A path is made by walking on it. Words exist because of meaning. Once you've gotten the meaning, you can forget the words. When people do not ignore what they should ignore, but ignore what they should not ignore, this is known as ignorance. My opinion is that you never find happiness until you stop looking for it. Breathing control gives men strength, vitality, inspiration, and magic powers. Where is that man who has forgotten words that I may have a word with him? Never admire a man by his strength, judge him in how he uses it. A way is made by walking it. Heaven is like an egg, and the earth is like the yolk of the egg. All men know the utility of useful things, but they do not know the utility of futility. Tao is the source of both fullness and emptiness, but it is itself neither fullness nor emptiness. Heaven does without doing through its purity. Earth does without doing through its calmness. He who knows he is a fool is not the biggest fool. He who knows he is confused is not in the worst confusion. The greatest tragedy that can befall a person is the atrophy of his mind. Do not struggle. Go with the flow of things, and you will find yourself at one with the mysterious unity of the universe. Understanding that rests in what it does not understand is the finest. The eyes envy the mind. A man who has some respect for his person keeps his carcass out of sight, hides himself as perfectly as he can. He who regards all things as one is a companion of nature. Cherish that which is in you and shut out that which is without. For much knowledge is a curse. Good order results spontaneously when things are let alone. The perfect man employs his mind as a mirror. The ultimate happiness is doing nothing, either in conflict with others or in harmony with them. We go through life like a runaway horse, unable to stop. Good fortune is as light as a feather, but nobody knows how to pick it up. Misfortune is as heavy as earth, but nobody knows how to stay out of its way. To be truly ignorant, be content with your own knowledge. A frog in a well cannot conceive of the ocean. A petty thief is put in jail. A great brigand becomes a ruler of a nation. The effect of life in society is to complicate and confuse our existence, making us forget who we really are by causing us to become obsessed with what we are not. Men do not mirror themselves in running water, they mirror themselves in still water. Only what is still can still the stillness of other things. Perfect happiness is the absence of striving for happiness. We cling to our own point of view, as though everything depended on it. Yet our opinions have no permanence, like autumn. They gradually pass away. The enlightened attention rejects nothing nor welcomes anything. Like a mirror, it responds equally to all. The sound of water says what I think. If the way is made clear, it is not the way. Forget the years. Forget distinctions. Leap into the boundless and make it your home. Those who realize their folly are not true fools. Great knowledge sees all in one. Small knowledge breaks down into the many. Birth is not a beginning, death is not an end. There is existence without limitation, there is continuity without a starting point. The wise man knows that it is better to sit on the banks of a remote mountain stream than to be emperor of the whole world. when there is no more separation between this and that. It is called the still point of the Tao. At the still point in the center of the circle, one can see the infinite in all things. If you have grasped the purpose of life, there is no point in trying to make life into something it is not or cannot be. You are still guided by your expectations. Fish live in water. Men die in it. Nature is diverse. And not all tastes are the same. Running around accusing others is not as good as laughing. And enjoying a good laugh is not as good as going along with things. The little child learns to speak, though it has no learned teachers, because it lives with those who know how to speak. A battering ram can knock down a city wall, but it cannot stop a hole. Different things have different uses. Am I a human dreaming I am a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming I am a human? The whole world is incapable of judging either right or wrong. But it is certain that actionless action can judge both right and wrong. The true men of the past waited upon heaven when dealing with people and did not wait upon people when dealing with heaven. The fish trap exists because of the fish. Once you have gotten the meanings, you can forget the words. How do I know that loving life is not a delusion? How do I know that in hating death I am not like a man who, having left home in his youth, has forgotten the way back? The men of old breathed clear down to their heels. I know the joy of fishes in the river through my own joy, as I go walking along the same river. Each one's destiny cannot be altered. Life is finite, while knowledge is infinite. When I talk about having good hearing, I don't mean just listening, but listening to yourself. When I talk about good eyesight, I don't mean just looking, but looking at yourself. Are you and I perchance caught up in a dream from which we have not yet awakened? Sound intelligence promises victory in every battle. The one-legged creature is envious of the millipede is envious of the snake is envious of the wind is envious of the eye is envious of the heart. To have a human form is a joyful thing. All the fish needs is to get lost in the water. All man needs is to get lost in Tao. If one is true to one's inner self and follows its wisdom, who is without a teacher? You cannot speak of ocean to a well frog, the creature of a narrower sphere. You cannot speak of ice to a summer insect, the creature of a season. Do not let the artificial obliterate the natural, do not let will obliterate destiny, do not let virtue be sacrificed to fame. When you are identified with the One, all things will be complete to you. Verily, God does not reward men for what he does, but for what he is. Men of this world all rejoice in others being like themselves, and object to others not being like themselves. Take care of your body. Then the rest will automatically become stronger. Your preciousness lies in your essence, it cannot be lost by anything that happens. There is danger for the eye in seeing too clearly, danger for the ear in hearing too sharply, and danger to the heart from caring too greatly. To go outside what your charge was, and to try to solve everything yourself, is dangerous. Human life is limited, but knowledge is limitless. To drive the limited in pursuit of the limitless is fatal, and to presume that one really knows is fatal indeed. The space under the sky is occupied by all things in their unity. Life comes from the earth and life returns to the earth. When affirmation and negation came into being, Tao faded. After Tao faded, then came one-sided attachments. He who knows the activities of nature lives according to nature. Listening stops with the ears. The mind stops with recognition. But spirit is empty and waits on all things. It is only when the formed learns from the unformed that there is understanding. A man who knows he is a fool is not a great fool. There are no greater adversaries than yin and yang, because nothing in heaven or on earth escapes them. But it is not yin and yang that do this. It is your heart that makes it so. Am I a human dreaming I am a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming I am a human? Am I a human dreaming I am a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming I am a human? The whole world is incapable of judging either right or wrong. But it is certain that actionless action can judge both right and wrong. Where is that man who has forgotten words that I may have a word with him? Heaven is like an egg, and the earth is like the yolk of the egg. The knowledge of the ancients reached the highest point the time before anything existed. This is the highest point. It is exhaustive. There is no adding to it. The Tao has no place for pettiness, and nor has virtue. Pettiness is dangerous to virtue, pettiness is dangerous to the Tao. It is said, rectify yourself and be done. The living all find death unpleasant, men mourn over it. And yet, what is but the unbending of the bow and its return to its case? Can a man cling to the positive without any negative in contrast to which it is seen to be positive? If he claims to do so, he is a rouge or a madman. Great wisdom is generous, petty wisdom is contentious. Great speech is impassioned. Small speech cantankerous. The perfect man uses his mind as a mirror. It grasps nothing. It regrets nothing. It receives but does not keep. Rewards and punishments are the lowest form of education. Let your mind wander in the pure and simple. Be one with the infinite. Let all things take their course. Silence and non-action are the root of all things. If you have insight, you use your inner eye, your inner ear, to pierce to the heart of things, and have no need of intellectual knowledge. The right way to go easy is to forget the right way. Flow with whatever may happen and let your mind be free. When deeds and words are in accord, the whole world is transformed. When the heart is right, for and against are forgotten. Birth is not the beginning. Death is not the end. Transmit the established facts, do not transmit words of exaggeration. If you do that, you will probably come out all right. If water derives lucidity from stillness, how much more the faculties of the mind? The mind of the sage, being in repose, becomes the mirror of the universe, the speculum of all creation. For we can only know that we know nothing. And a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. To examine oneself makes good use of sight. He who pursues fame at the risk of losing his self is not a scholar. Being is thoughtless beyond and beneath all categories of thought. Expression is the realization of creative thought. Being is still expression. Moving. But then if I do not strive, who will? By ethical argument and moral principle, the greatest crimes are eventually shown to have been necessary. And, in fact, a signal benefit to mankind. The whole world is incapable of judging either right or wrong. But it is certain that actionless action can judge both right and wrong. The way is to men as rivers and lakes are to fish. The natural condition of life. The creature born is the creature dying. Everything has what is innate. Everything has what is necessary. The eye is a menace to clear sight. The ear is a menace to subtle hearing. The mind is a menace to wisdom. Every organ of the senses is a menace to its own capacity. I am going to try speaking some reckless words. And I want you to try to listen recklessly. Let everything be allowed to do what it naturally does, so that its nature will be satisfied. The true man breathes with his heels. Your mind must become one. Do not try to understand with your ears but with your heart. Indeed, not with your heart but with your soul. Luck implies an absolute absence of any principle. The torch of doubt and chaos. This is what the sage steers by. We are born from a quiet sleep, and we die to a calm awakening. Those who follow the Tao are of clear mind. They do not load their mind with anxieties and are flexible in their adjustment to external conditions. To exercise no thought and rest in nothing is the first step toward resting in Tao. To start from nowhere and follow no road is the first step toward attaining Tao. Great understanding is broad and unhurried, little understanding is cramped and busy. Let your mind wander in simplicity. Blend your spirit with the vastness. Follow along with things the way they are. And make no room for personal views, then the world will be governed. Men honor what lies within the sphere of their knowledge, but do not realize how dependent they are on what lies beyond it. Easy is right. Begin right and you are easy. Continue easy and you are right. The right way to go easy is to forget the right way. And forget that the going is easy. True depth of understanding is wide and steady. Shallow understanding is lazy and wandering. Words of wisdom are precise and clear. If you wish to care for your body, first of all take care of material things. Though even when you have all the things you want, the body can still be uncared for. Tao is beyond words and beyond things. It is not expressed either in word or in silence. Where there is no longer word or silence, Tao is apprehended. The Tao is made because we walk it. Things become what they are called. Why don't you try wandering with me to the palace of not even anything? To be constant is to be useful. To be useful is to realize one's true nature. Realization of one's true nature is happiness. When one reaches happiness, one is close to perfection. One whose inner being is fixed upon such greatness emits a heavenly glow. Even though he has this heavenly glow, others will see him as just a man. Someone who has reached this point will begin to be consistent. People value that part of knowledge which is known. They do not know how to avail themselves of the unknown in order to reach knowledge. Is this not misguided? And how do I know that the hate of death is not like a man who has lost his home when young and does not know where his home is to return to? The perfect man of old looked after himself first before looking to help others. The sage embraces things. Ordinary men discriminate amongst them and parade their discriminations before others. So I say, those who discriminate fail to see. Where can I find a man who has forgotten words? So I can have a few words with him. That knowledge which stops at what it does not know is the highest knowledge. The hearing that is only in the ears is one thing. The hearing of the understanding is another. But the hearing of the spirit is not limited to any one faculty, to the ear or to the mind. A sage steers by the bright light of confusion and doubt. Those who seek to satisfy the mind of men by hampering it with ceremonies and music and affecting charity and devotion have lost their original nature. If water derives lucidity from stillness, how much more the faculties of the mind? Only fools imagine they are already awake. How clearly they understand everything. How easily they distinguish this deception from that reality. Great knowledge is universal. Small knowledge is limited. Great words are inspiring, small words are chatter. When an archer shoots for enjoyment, he has all his skill when he shoots for a brass buckle. He gets nervous when he shoots for a prize of gold. He begins to see two targets. Look at this window. It is nothing but a hole in the wall. But because of it, the whole room is full of light. So when the faculties are empty, the heart is full of light. Flow with whatever may happen and let your mind be free. Stay centered by accepting whatever you are doing. This is the ultimate. The 10,000 things belong to one storehouse, and life and death share the same body.